Alright, welcome back to another E7 video. Today we're going over Notos, the boss, the grand, I don't even know what to call him, but hey, he's coming out and we are ready. I did take a look at some of his skills. I do want to say they did a very nice job on him. The animations and also the voice actor's range is he's a really cool. I would have to say it fits the character really well, I think, and he did a really good job. Holy, but without further ado, let's get into this Notos review.
The air of the covenant. Is this it? You've got a long road ahead.
Alright, starting off with the stats of Notos though. He's Cancer Knight. So he is the same. If you want to take somebody in game, he's like the same stats as ML Ilanov, right? I believe the same stats as ML Ilanov, so you can use her as a guide. I don't know who else. I was just looking through and I just looked at the first one that I found. The only difference is like when it comes to the build. But yeah, besides that, he seems very, very good. Very nice, bulky stats. No ER though, but besides that, the speed is slow, yeah, but defense, HP, very high. Alright, let's take a look at the skill 3, God's Might. Okay, grants God of Battle to the caster for 3 turns and fully recovers health, right? When God of Battle is maintained, changes the battlefield into the Sanctuary of Battle. Okay, begins the first battle with full skill cooldown count. Okay. I missed that part when I was looking at it. So he does want to be on warfare. He does want to be on warfare so he can start the battle with his skill 3. Because the cooldown, as you can see, is 8 turns. So you don't want to wait 8 turns for him to get his skill. Right? God of Battle is a unique effect. All stats are doubled, by the way. Dispelled at the end of battle. Okay. So, dispelled at the end of battle. So, I'm assuming he gets this. Well, he gets this for 3 turns, actually. I don't know why he says dispelled at the end of battle, but yeah. He gets it for 3 turns. All stats are doubled. So, all his stats, ER, HP, defense, attack, speed, crit chance, crit damage, everything is doubled. So when it comes to like the builds or anything like that, you might want to try to run him obviously with as much HP as you can, with some speed. I would say like if you can aim for it, maybe 150 speed. But when it comes to the crit chance and crit damage, the crit chance obviously 50% because you're gonna double it, and then the crit damage at around 170 should get you to max crit damage. Like, because base crit damage is already like 300, so you only need like a little bit of crit damage for him to max out, right? So that's why like his build is. I was trying to see if I can come up with a build, but trying to balance out the stats for him to take full advantage of it. For now, I don't really have the gear for it, but to completely like give him all the stats that he needs, like the 150, like around 150 speed, the 50% crit chance, and like around 170 crit damage without going too much over and everything like that. So besides that, yeah, he should be pretty simple to build. All right, taking a look at his, well, I would say first, because the unique thing about this character as well is he has 2 different sets of skills, whether he's in the sanctuary or not, right? So this seems like, or when he has the God of Battle on, right? So unaffected by combat readiness increase or and decrease effects. So you cannot push him back. He's already slow. I really think they should have added something like this to bystander, because at least the decrease one, because she gets like punished so hard, man. Anyways, but besides that, you cannot push him back. Neither can you push him up, right? Neither can you push him up. So you can't just like, okay, I'm going to run him with like a cleave team and just like bully the turn 2 player, right? So they want you to do something like that. It's kind of similar to Iseria, where they don't want you to use her with dual attacks and stuff, right? It's similar concept to that, right? Yeah, so they want you to kind of play him somewhat fairly, I guess. But yeah, he can be sealed before he goes into his domain, right? One thing I do want to say about the passive real quick is that sealing him also has kind of like a benefit for him in a way. Like if you seal him, then that means he's able to get combat readiness pushes as well. I just wanted to mention that. Like his passive doesn't have like a high seal value, you know? So it's almost like a benefit sometimes, yeah. He could be sealed and then pushed back by like MLDN or something like that. So you need to make sure you can protect him until he's ready to, do that domain expansion, right? Okay, this is his skill 2, which is basically his skill 3 when he's in God of Battle state, right? Attacks the enemy with a transcendent power, penetrates the target's defense by 50%, damage that increases proportion to the caster's max health. And remember, when he's in that domain, his stats are doubled. So he's gonna have a lot of HP, a lot of defense, attack speed, all of that, right? If you can give him the build properly. Soul burn for the cost of 10 souls increases damage dealt, right? This thing does a lot. Okay, taking a look at his skill 1, which he has 2 actually. He has 2 skill 1s as well. Attacks the enemy with divinity and a 75% chance to inflict decreased defense for 1 turn, which he can't do obviously in the domain. Damage that increases proportion to the caster's max health. And here is his skill 1 version 2, which is the domain version, I'm gonna call it. Divine Explosion attacks the enemy and deals additional damage proportional to the caster's max health. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health, right? So it already has pop damage on it. It has pop damage on it in the domain, but he's also be getting that artifact, right? That Knight artifact 3F. So we'll see that new 3F artifact, right? So it'll do a lot of damage. I do want to take a look at this combat demo because it is very, very interesting what this character does.
To the sanctuary of that.
Go to the sanctuary.
It is back.
Into the sanctuary now. But if you look, he took away everything. Barunka's buff is gone. Raz's unique thing, the Covenant thing is gone. Ruel doesn't have any buffs, Illinois doesn't have any buffs, the barriers, everything is gone, right? He Soberns here, and this voice line is he's just
Hold its worth. Yes! Show me how much you can struggle!
I wanna point out the voice actor because here he's doing like a barbarian kind of, warrior, Viking, whatever you want to call it, like those pirates, whatever. He's doing like that kind of rough like voice acting, and then he goes down into like a lower tone. I don't know what to call it, but he does that very, very well.
May this battle hold its worth. Yes! Show me how much you can struggle! Maybe I got too excited.
And by the way, that is a pen skill, and it did 28,000 to the that is a skill that penetrates 50% defense, and he did 28,000 damage to the Ruella Flight. He one-shot her through ML Ilanov passive right there, right? So that is unfortunate. The damage is ridiculous.
You're just a puppy. Hi.
I'm still standing.
My tea is...
I will pause here because I seen it being pointed out. It was pointed out by a lot of people. Bellona's S3 has those arrows on it. So technically, so that means Mellona, obviously her soul burn is here, so that can be the soul burn. So this is a upcoming EE for Mellona. And I think she does need an EE. I think she needs like a cleanse or something. Kind of like how Iseria has like a cleanse on her skill 3. If she gets sealed or anything, she can cleanse herself. It might be a cleanse EE. I'm not sure though. I'm not sure. It could be cleanse, it could be anything, but I think cleanse makes the most sense.
Become like the autumn leaves and scatter upon the ground.
It's not injury
Prepare
or anything
to
like that, because that
win!
injury came from earlier on in the match.
Let's see what you've got. Excellent!
That Ilanov, by the way, took 8k. That Ilanov took 8k pop damage almost, right? This is disgusting.
First come, first serve! You nearly delayed the inevitable.
The buff
Quite slow.
Yeah, you missed
A
again.
slap will do.
There's no point in pressing F3, you can get buffs
Still
in here
standing.
May
anyways.
this battle hold its
But you could see our pushes now when he's in that state.
I bestow
I'm pretty
upon
sure.
you my greatest honor.
Yeah. Let me go back here. Let me go back here because I don't know if his passive is still in effect. I don't know if his passive is still in effect when he's in the domain mode. But if it is, then it makes sense why he didn't press S3. But yeah, he has different skills in this domain here. But the next voice line here, he goes into like more of like his British kind of like esteemed, like royal, like like super powerful royal kind of tone, right? And then he goes back down again into that lower register, right?
I'm still standing.
May this battle hold its worth. I bestow upon you my greatest honor. Take pride as you demand.
Sorry, the audacity.
And one other thing to note, we came out of the domain, but Raz didn't get his buff back. So you cannot get the buffs back once you exit the domain unless you have a way to reapply it, right? That is actually disgusting. Like, it basically nerfs Raz down to like 3 turns of his yeah, it basically nerfs 3 turns of Raz's passive, is his buff. So he's out of the domain. He got injured from the Mellona, and he's just sitting there now because he already used all his skills. That's really interesting. That is a scary character. But he's also one of the coolest characters I've ever seen. And now that they're in the normal arena, he could get debuff
you a
now. So,
lesson.
and he could get his buff
Let
back.
me tell you your
Right, he could get the
fortune.
bigger buff and everything. Very scary character to play against.
How adorable! Hi.
Let my guard down.
I'll wrap things up momentarily.
But yeah, that is the Notos preview, man. Dude, I'm very hyped for this character. I don't know if I'm gonna get him. Hopefully I can get him by the time he comes. Hopefully I can get enough mystics. But he is scary, man. He is scary. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.